All right, let me explain trig derivatives to you extremely quickly. The derivative of sine x turns out to be cosine x, a beautiful thing. But the derivative of cosine x turns out to be negative sine x. It has a minus sign on it. Now that's an interesting feature. We're going to see something about this co. There's a pattern with trig functions starting with co. Every time you take the derivative of a trig function starting with co, there's a minus sign. Let's check the rest of the family. The derivative of tangent turns out to be secant squared. The derivative of cotangent turns out to be not secant squared, not negative secant squared, it's negative cosecant squared, because I'm taking the derivative of a co. I'm taking the derivative of a co, so there's a minus. Since the derivative of tangent is secant squared, derivative of cotangent turns out to be a negative cosecant squared. Do you see? Secant squared, cosecant squared. It's almost like a 2 for 1, but there's a twist because of that minus sign. Let's check it out with secant. The derivative of secant turns out to, by quotient rule, to be tangent secant, or secant tangent, this multiplication. So the derivative of cosecant has to be a negative because it starts with co. So there's a negative, and since this was tangent secant, this is cotangent cosecant. That's what they turn out to be by using just whatever derivative rule we need to use to get that derivative. So when you see the whole family together, they're trying to help you to remember. They're trying. So use that to your advantage. You got to know all 6. We're going to be using all 6. So look at the family. Derivative of sine, cosine. Derivative of cosine, negative sine, because it starts with a co. So what would be the derivative of cosecant? Well, it's got to start with a negative because it starts with co. And if you can remember secant is secant tangent, this is cosecant, cotangent, with a minus sign on it. So get it all together, get these 6 down, no worries. Talk to you later.